Hi, good afternoon. What a beautiful day here today. And I'd like to share something that became a real game changer in my life. And I got introduced to the metaphysical side of life. And the way I would describe it, the metaphysical side of us, we're all spiritual beings living a temporary human experience as a volunteered assignment on behalf of the soul. And as a spiritual being living this physical life here, prior to showing up here, the soul has laid out a well-written, a well-planned out soul agreement, a soul contract, that when we splash here, this agreement is etched in stone with one's soul and with the universe. And I got fascinated with it the fascination of it is that when I had my first experience, it wasn't the soul blueprint. It was there to educate me on the awareness of things that from my own childhood and from my earlier experiences growing up that were either not handled well. And the bigger part of it is the 80% of the awareness saying that, hey, while I'm physically here in this life, this is what I'm going to be dealing with, this is what I'm going to be going through. And either I better wake up, grow up, and start handling this properly, or at one point I'd be coming back here for another lifetime going through this same repeated nonsense. And by that time I already made the decision that I already experienced plenty or enough throughout this lifetime. I decided that I got nothing to lose here, and I took the biggest chance, which was on me. And when I took that extra leap of faith, I gave up what for many may be considered as being kind of a crazy move, and I gave up my dream job as a commercial pilot. And I also had at that time a part-time, well-paying job, and I gave up like a really lucrative career. But I got into this after surviving 5 near-death experiences, and it became very evident that for me, I had a really, really tough time talking or expressing, and it jammed everything up here in the throat. And from that experience, it had affected my leadership. It had at one point closed off my heart with this, and I saw things from a 3D point of view, meaning that it was all about the intellect. Going to school. On one hand, it was masked very well that, hey, somebody in the family either was a doctor or a lawyer. In my case, I was a commercial pilot. And at one point, I saw myself either as a captain or first officer working for one of the big airlines. And thank God I chose a better decision with being smart about it and acknowledging the opportunity that the universe gave me. And I went back on the inside, and I decided to, with the right guidance, I went back on the inside and I completely unplugged all the bullshit and all the masks that I was wearing. And it's absolutely fascinating because we're living here as a physical being, and equally we also have a spiritual being. The spiritual side of us, this is where you have things called chords, and every one of these chords, whatever you think about, or when you think about certain people, or when you anticipate a phone call, or when you have a certain sensory or a certain feeling, there's an invisible cord that connects from one person to another. And all of these chords, they all stem from somewhere. And when we show up here, the initial programming begins normally about 3 months while we're in the mommy's tummy there. You start learning or absorbing all the programming from mom and dad. And this is where the subconscious starts recording everything. And then at one point later on, the first 9 years, this becomes the foundation of our life. And there's no judgment, there's no blame with this. It's part of the human experience, going through a human emotional experience with the well-intentioned and well-chosen parents, culture, religion, ethnicity, creed, background, the country, the religion, and any other entanglements. And the soul simply asking that while we're physically here, to not be stuck with any emotional experience, because that's one of the big reasons why we've chosen to show up here, is with living an emotional experience without being stuck by it. And the moment we unplug from all that, this is where we can start tapping into our other gifts, And the major reason for this is when we show up here, the soul makes a vested interest when it shows up here with cleaning up all the negativity, all the toxic emotional cords of this. And let's say, I got lucky in my 30s. I had experienced a number of things already, and I made the decision that, I got nothing to lose here. And what I got fascinated with it is, the moment I started taking ownership of my life in a different way, and I started gutting out whatever was on the inside, my outside world immediately started to change. So, and it changed for the most positive way. It was the first time in many years I could actually look myself in the face and say, hey, I'm a lucky guy. I'm a really lucky guy being here today. And I'm grateful and thankful for what the universe showed me. And with having a peaceful closure with this, meaning that wherever I go from here onwards, that as a source of inspiration for others, it's with having all the agreements closed in the family, the ancestry, from the many repeated and recycled lifetimes where the job never got done. I'd like to share that there's a way out of it, and it's with going on the inside, and from there closing all the agreements with peace, compassion, universal love and grace, and having the guts or the courage to say enough was enough, so thank you for the experience. And then at one point, doing whatever you need to do there. And I think for all of us, our birthright is being happy, being joyful, and being fulfilled, and enjoying your life. So, some food for thought. So wherever you may be, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.